Can you imagine how someone's going to feel after they die, and they come before the throne, the books of the dead are opened, the God who created everything, the God who created them, the God that loved them, even though they might not have known it, looks in his diary, in Gracebook, in the book of life, he scrolls down alphabetically looking for the name of the person, and they're not there. That person would be devastated. There's a famous musician and music artist named Eric Clapton. For those of you who remember Eric Clapton, he still writes music today. But a few years ago, his son died in a tragic accident. His son was 4 years old. He was on the 53rd floor of a condominium with his mom. The housekeeper had just finished cleaning the room, had opened up the sliding glass door so that the room could air out. The boy ran through the door, stumbled over the ledge, and fell 49 stories, landed on the roof of a 4-story building and died.
Wow.
Eric Clapton was devastated.
Didn't you write a song about that?
He did. I'm going to play the song for you. And you have the lyrics, Tears in Heaven. And as you listen to it, this was 9 months later he came out with this song. He had done nothing for 9 months, and this is what he came out with afterwards.
I know the lyrics to this song. I won't sing, Brandon, okay?
So I'm not going to play the whole song, but Eric Clapton asked the question, would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? Would you know my name? The night before the boy died, Eric took his son to the circus. And that's usually a great memory for a father and a son. And how painful if the boy didn't remember that moment. How devastating would that be for Eric Clapton? I bet he's wondering if his name's in Gracebook, because he says, I must carry on, I must be strong, but I know that I don't belong here in heaven. Let's tie these pieces together here. We have Facebook, which really could be anything, but it's a tool for us to either see our image as a reflection, see the image of our reflection in this computer, and for us to become narcissists. To really fall in love with ourselves. The Bible in Mark chapter 12 says, Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself. But Facebook is more like, love yourself and let everyone know about it. Or love yourself more than your neighbor. It's kind of how it's unwound in our society. We're kind of narcissistic. What are we doing on Facebook? Second guess it. And then think about this. Think about Gracebook. Think about it. Is your name in Gracebook? How do you get your name in Gracebook? Okay, this is a great question. Hebrews chapter 11. People get their names in Hebrews chapter 11. The title is called By Faith. This is how they got their names. So I'm going to read a couple things that people did. And what more shall I say? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and the prophets who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle and routed foreign armies. Women received back their dead, raised to life again. Others were tortured and refused to be released so that they might gain a better resurrection. Some faced jeers and flogging, while still others were chained and put in prison. They were stoned, they were sawed in two, they were put to death by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains and in caves and in holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith. Yet none of them received what had been promised. God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. So they get their name in this book because of faith, because they walked with God. They had a relationship with God. So we get our name in Gracebook because we have a relationship, a friendship with God. Maybe you don't know how that works. Well, think about your friends. How do you have a relationship with your friend? I mean, you talk to them. You know, it's a thing called prayer. You talk to God. Or you read his word that he's written. Friends hang out together. They go to the movies together. They go out to eat together. Hang out with God. Tag along with him in what he's into. You know, some people are going to Haiti. Tag along with God. He's put stuff inside of you that, you know, he wants to know what you're interested in too. I've created these little take-home sheets to kind of help you really make this message stick in your life, you know. There's, if you just take one and pass it around, it'd be great. On these sheets, there's three things. One, I want to encourage you to do is pray. Instead of going to God and telling him all your problems, go to God and ask him, what's on your mind? A great Facebook question. God, what's on your mind? Second thing is to reject narcissism. Don't update your status for a week, okay? Instead, only comment on your friends and their status and what they're up to, you know, that kind of thing. So don't update your status at all. And number three, what did I put there? Oh yeah, friend request. Ask God to friend you in Gracebook. You know, this is what happens. This is what the Bible pretty much makes clear: is that everyone ever born, their name is written in the book of life in Gracebook. But as they live, everything that they've done is updated and recorded in the books of the dead, it becomes obvious that that person has no interest in knowing God, in life with God. And so God comes to the Gracebook, to the book of life, and he blots out their name. He erases them from his book. And when they die, and when they are face to face with him at his throne, he opens up all the books, and he looks down, and where their name should have been, there's just a blank spot. And they go into the lake of fire, which is the second death. But it says, for those whose names are written in Gracebook, for those names who are written in the book of life, they get to inherit eternal life, that they get to enter into the best city that's ever been made. I just read about it this morning. It's, New York City is like, I don't know how many, 20 miles wide, 30 miles wide. This city is 1,400 miles wide, 1,400 miles long, with a giant river, beautiful trees on each side, and you just get to enjoy that city. But if your name's not in the book, then you are kicked out of the city. So I want us to pray here, and maybe think about where you're at. If maybe hey, I know I'm a narcissist. I'm falling in love with myself, and it's not satisfying, and I need to be into my friends' lives more. Maybe you realize, I don't have a relationship with God, and I don't know if my name is in the book of life. Maybe God has blotted my name out, and you say, I want to befriend God. I want him to update my status. I want to be doing things that are noteworthy. I don't want to be like the father who didn't get recorded in his daughter's diary. So we're going to play a song, and we're going to pray, and just take time to reflect on what's on God's mind. Okay, what's on God's mind. And feel free to sing with me, Brenda. That's why you're here too. You can sing with me.
You can sing.
Help me, Carrie. Yeah. You're on the spot.
Yeah, you're on the spot.
So